Welcome back to another video on the cost of living, what's going on during the week here on the small holding, specifically all around kitchen stuff and groceries and buying things. I've just got in from work, still got the work top on. I've just shoved the hoodie on top because I'm absolutely freezing and I need to get busy with all kinds of other stuff. But I've just put in the Instant Pot some basmati rice. This is the lockdown leftovers that just is literally, it's on, you know, the very last bit. I bought a 10-kilo bag of white basmati rice. I've since then decided that I'm actually going to try and steer clear from the white rice from our healthy point of view moving forward, but I'm not going to waste what's in there. So we're getting through it. Every week or every couple of weeks we're having a rice-based dish. So tonight I'm doing stuffed peppers. So I've got some pork mince out of the freezer, which is just here defrosting because of course I forgot to get it out. The egg is on warm, so it's just defrosting, enough to cook it. And I've got some peppers from Aldi and we're just literally going to stuff them, cook the pork mince with some onions, garlic, put the rice in, some veggies, some scraps and things that I've got, and then stuff the peppers and just cook them down in the Argus. So that's going to be tonight's tea. But when I put the rice in the Instant Pot, it reminded me to talk to you guys about making my own stock or chicken broth. So recently, been doing a lot more research into a healthy gut. Now, you guys know if you've been here a while that I've been thinking about using 2023 as making the year where I just basically get healthy, because the back end of last year I felt really unhealthy. So I've cut out the drinking. I've done that for over a month now. And one of the things I've been looking at replacing it, as well as the kombucha, which I've talked about a little bit, is chicken broth. So I did try this before, if you remember, if you've been here a while, and I didn't like it. It wasn't something that was palatable for me to just drink that wasn't in a soup. And I thought, I got some footage while I was making some the other day. I think you've just seen me put in, so the carcass is already in the Instant Pot, and I just add in the chicken neck. So if you go to the butcher's and buy just a whole chicken, and you can butcher it down yourself. We've actually got a video on that if you're interested, and just make sure that you put the neck in but not the liver and the heart, because I keep those separate. We'll do something with those. And I just put onion, celery, carrots, bay leaf, peppercorns, just the usual spices in. You can add in lemon, ginger, chili, honey. There's all kinds of stuff, a little bit of cayenne if you want. So it depends what you're going to use the broth for. Now, I didn't really play around with it before and try and make it palatable for me to enjoy, but I have been reading about the health benefits again, and I know that it's supposed to be really, really good for you, especially if you cook the broth or the bones low and slow, so like over 24 hours, which I didn't here. I did do it in my Instant Pot, and I just popped it on for 2 hours on high pressure, and that produces a really nice broth. If you can do it low and slow over 24 hours in a slow cooker, that's supposed to be much better for you. But a really expedited way is just using the Instant Pot as well. And oh, I forgot, apple cider vinegar. That is supposed to help draw out some of the nutrients from the bones. Whether it does or not, who knows, but it's not going to cause any harm. So I've just added that in and then literally popping it on for 2 hours. And when it's done, leave it cool, strain it out, and then you can use it in soups and to replace your stock cubes and things. And I'm going to try, I haven't yet, but I'm going to try drinking it, just adding in some salt to make it more palatable. And I've also been playing around with another ferment, which is the sourdough. And that sourdough that you saw there, I've just done a little voiceover for the for when I was doing the chicken broth. So I hope that worked okay. If not, apologies, it's best I could do. Anyway, the sourdough that you saw Stephen cutting was the first one that I've made this year. And it looked really good when we first cut into it. And then as we got to the middle of the bread, if you look, there's a little bit of a hole on the bottom of the bread. Turns out there was a massive air dome bubble thing. So the bread was only actually about that much bread and then that much air. So even though the bread might have looked that deep, it was actually only that much. Anyway, it's all part of the fun and learning. So I am doing these ferments that I've been talking to you about. So fermentation Fridays. Haven't got into the videos just yet because I'm still like clueless on some of it as to what I'm doing. I tried the sauerkraut that you guys saw in another video. I keep saying that. If you haven't, feel free to go and watch them. But it's there in one of the previous videos. Somebody said on the comment, it's going to go mouldy because of the little bits that I'd left, even though I tried to pack it down. They were so right, it did go mouldy. And then I was too frightened to try and rescue it because I didn't want to make anybody ill. The whole point is trying to make us healthier. So that went the distance. I actually gave it to the chickens. So Grace came in. So yeah, the chickens had that. And I'm going to try that again this week. So I'll video it. If it works, the video will get published. If it doesn't, we'll be waiting again. But I'm really excited about the whole fermentation and healthy gut process, and I thought something that I can do, and that's what reminded me of the Instant Pot, is the chicken broth, because I make that every week from all the different chicken bones and things that we've got. And actually we've only just recently processed our own lambs, so I've got a lot of bones from that as well. So I will make a heck of a lot more broth, and what I'm going to do is actually pressure can it so that I can get it up on the shelves and make them shelf stable. Anyway, I'm going to get on now. I've got these stuffed peppers that I need to do and a whole host of other things, so I will be back. This is the mince. It's got tinned tomatoes, garlic, onion, cumin, paprika, all sorts in. What else? No, it hasn't got coriander in. Anyway, it's got all sorts of bits and pieces in, and I've literally then cut the peppers in half lengthways instead of, if you know what I mean, I've cut them down the middle lengthways instead of horizontally. This time I've got some broccoli in there that I'm going to roast with it, and as you can probably tell, I'm in a bit of a rush because I haven't even fed the horses or anything yet. And these aren't in the oven. I've added nutritional yeast on the top. This is where we got our nutritional yeast from last time. It's really good. It's really good for you, and it's instead of putting a cheese on, so it's less fattening. I would put cheese on, but I've eaten it all. So they're going in the oven now. I'm going to run over, I'm going to feed the animals outside and then get these out and serve them up with the rice. I was going to mix the rice in with this, and then I've just made far too much. So there's 3 peppers, and I've got all of that left. So if I'd have mixed the rice in, I would have had just even more. So I'll just serve it with the rice on the side, and then people can just get what they want. I've got the inside of the peppers ready to go at the compost. That's just for the bin. And I have put a bit of sweet chilli sauce in the mince mix as well. There you go. That's the dog on the bed. She's really excited. She's just about to have a breakfast. I thought we'd have a quick check-in. The days are absolutely flying by. So I went through... Do you want some breakfast? I'm tired. I went through with you guys about the chicken stock and things like that, and it's kind of come around again already. I just can't believe how quickly the days are going. So I want to slow them down and get a little bit more footage of between those days. So where are we? It's Saturday morning. Stephen's at work. I have got a busy day ahead. We've got a birthday weekend coming up. So I'm going to be making a cake this morning. So obviously Grace's allergies need to make a nut-free cake. It's easier for me to make it than buy one, and it's cheaper because she wanted one of these extravagant ones for a 16th, and it was just ridiculous prices. Anyway, we are going to have a go at making our own cake. I'll show you what that looks like, and then I can get this video out. That'll be, hopefully it'll get released on Sunday, so who knows, you can hold me to it when it comes out. I've been out and done the animals already this morning, and I've actually been up and I did a blog post yesterday, and I've released my gardening video this morning. That's got some recipes on that we did with a shoulder of lamb, or a recipe should I say, that I did with a shoulder of lamb, because I know some people are interested in the cooking side of it, so check that one out if you're interested in that. But otherwise, I thought we'd just have a general catch up in the kitchen. I'm going to get busy. I've got a ton of pots to do. There was no hot water, so I've had the hot water on. Hopefully that'll be hot enough now to do the pots, and just generally I'm going to have a banana pancake this morning. Oh, have we got any bananas? I might not be having a banana pancake this morning. I might be having a regular pancake this morning, and we'll see how we get to it. I'm going to get that cake made so it can be nice and cool so we can ice it later. So that's going to be my first job, I think, before I do the pots. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. That's where I feed the dogs, right next to the pantry, which is open at the moment, obviously. Annie's having hers there. The boys are in a different room, just so they don't argue over food. I thought I'd just bring you up to speed a little bit on what's going on. So from a financial point of view, do you remember me saying that the mortgage was up in January? I said this a few months ago, because with our mortgage, with any mortgage I believe, you can fix a few months in advance. Some are longer than others. Ours was only 90 days. So I'm so pleased, because the Bank of England interest rate has just gone up to 4%, I think. I'm so pleased that we got to fix it. We still fixed it at so much higher than it was, but it would have been so much worse if we were only going to fix it today. So I locked that in a few months ago, and it's actually the first payment for the new mortgage price has just come out, and it's like eye-watering different. So we were adjusting our finances. We knew it was coming, and we were planning for that. So we've adjusted the finances now moving forward with this year to take that into account. So it's like super important now more than ever that we just don't go, blowing money on anything when we've just got to wait and see how that pans out, and anything else that might come up, trying to save as much as possible. This year I'm trying to save like 3 months plus worth of wages, going to work it out as we go along, so that we've got that to fall back on should anything happen, health-wise, job-wise. You know what it's like. Last year gave us a bit of a fright, so we want to make sure we are in a good position to be able to do that. So that's on the finance side. The council tax, we pay 10 months council tax, and then you get your 2 months off, even though you pay for that in the 10 months, I'm sure. So I'm expecting to find out what the new council tax rates are soon as well. They start again, I think it's March when you get your first new payment effective from. So I've been looking, there wasn't anything on the website last time I looked. I'll have a look again very soon. Annie is having the breakfast as you've just seen, and I thought I'd actually just mention about that as well. Previously I've said that I wouldn't swap our dog food to a different brand because she was on that and she was quite happy on it and it was really expensive. I've taken a U-turn on that and we've been downgraded for a little bit, but it's been on a cheaper one for a while, well, forever. They've never had an expensive one. We just kept her on the dog food that she was on when we got her, basically. So that's one way. I had to take a minute for my arm there, sorry. That's one way that we've also cut. We're taking the cut in our food in terms of, from a health point of view, we're not buying as many treats and, and alcohol, haven't had a drop of alcohol this year, etc., etc. And I didn't want to do it for the dogs, but we have, and it's actually worked out really fine. She's not suffering from it, and I know people may say, well, she'll suffer in the long run or whatever, but okay, we'll see where we are on that. But she's doing really well at the minute. She absolutely loves it, as you might have been able to tell. It's head straight in. She really enjoys that. So I think that's a good decision. We shall see as time moves on, but right now, that's what we're going to stick to. So for the cake, I'm doing Mary Berry's chocolate sandwich variation. As you can see, this is a well-loved recipe over the years. So I've got my favourite strawberry Mason Cash style bowl, and I've got the scales and everything ready. This is just obviously the cocoa powder, and then I've just realised 4 large eggs. So I need to go outside and grab some eggs because I don't even have 4 in the house actually. Stephen's had eggs for breakfast this morning before I went to work, so I'm going to go and grab those, and then I shall get busy making the cake. I'm actually doing it in this oven purely because you can control the temperature, and I haven't got enough ingredients to make it too many times if it goes wrong, and I'm just bothered if I do it in the oven that I might end up burning it or undercooking it because it's a one-shot saloon at this one. So yeah, 4 large eggs, on my way to go and get those now. I am hoping that making this cake is rekindles my love for baking, because I haven't been doing very much now. I used to do absolutely loads when we first moved here, and that'll be one of the reasons why we put so much weight on. You obviously have to eat it if you're making it. So, oops, going through the gate. So yeah, I'm hoping it does, and even if it's just kind of weekend baking, I don't need to lock that, the dogs aren't out. We'll see. I do miss it, and I do miss eating it. But, oh, that's the other thing I was going to say for those that are interested. I'm doing this kind of trying to be more nutritious, healthy year, and I know I've just said I'm having pancakes for breakfast, but they contain blueberries and chia seeds, so that's good for me. But yeah, I've lost another pound, so that's coming up to 6 in total. Coming up to, because I do work in half pounds, because every half pound counts. So I'm really pleased from that point of view, and that's just through January and the first few days in February. I'm not trying to lose a crazy amount at once, because I've been there, done that, and it just comes back on in no time at all. So just £1 to £2 a week. I was hoping I'd lose more from not drinking, but I haven't, so there you go. Anyway, it seems that just eating healthily and not drinking alcohol for now is really working from a weight point of view, so I'm super pleased about that. I will be having a piece of this homemade cake though, but yeah, I'll be interested to see if I feel like baking more, especially while Yaga's on. It's just such a waste not to, but it's finding the time and making excuses already. I do love it though. I don't know why I don't do it more often. Anyway, I'm going to grab these eggs if I can find any. I'm in the duck house, as you can tell, not the dog house. Where the ducks spend the night. They spend their days somewhere different because they've been through lockdown. They have to be locked away, unfortunately. Anyway, look at this. Ducks are notoriously filthy, by the way. So our duck eggs, as much as they're clean for the day that we put fresh straw in, and I'm not putting fresh straw in every day because it'd be like 6 foot deep. Anyway, look at this. Don't know if the camera will pick it up very well, but we've got, these are definitely large eggs. Yay! That's fantastic. So there's 9 eggs there. Really pleased with that, and it says 4 large eggs, and duck eggs are fantastic for baking. I'd highly recommend duck eggs if you haven't tried them before. Remember to lock this gate this time. Really good. So I'm pleased about that. And we can definitely say that they're large. Did I just say that? Generally, those ducks that we've got, the Aylesbury's, lay large eggs. So you don't get clean eggs in winter unless you buy them from a shop. Well, I've done this cake in 2 parts, which is what Mary B suggests. I think next time I'll just do the one. And the reason I've had to put it in twice because I've only got 1 cake tin that is the sort of the same size. Anyway, the first one's come out okay. It's got the dome on it. I never know how to not get the dome on it, but it all eats, right? The second one is nearly done. I've just learned that you can take the internal temperature of a sponge cake, and if it's around 98 degrees C, which I think is it like 210F, something like that, don't take it for granted, that the cake's done. So obviously you've got the old, you know, the usual way of doing it where you pop in a metal skewer or something, and if it comes out clean, it's probably done. But just a sort of extra assurance, this oven, this is another reason I don't like it. It makes some funny noises. Anyway, just extra assurance, if it's the thermometer comes out with an internal reading of that, 98, you know, all's good. So I'm really pleased that the first one's out. Second one's just got another couple of minutes left on it, and then I'll just leave those on a cake rack to cool all day. Couple of corkers this morning though I thought I'd share with you. So first thing this morning, you know, when it takes you a while to wake up. So the first one, I've got the air fry things drying. Anyway, first one, I was opening a tin of tuna. So we've got 2 tins of tuna left in the pantry after using this one this morning. And I was making Stephen a salad to go to work with, and I opened a tin of tuna and I walked over to the sink and I started hearing a hissing coming from the sink. Well, I spent 2 or 3 minutes looking for what this hissing was, thinking, oh my goodness, there's water's going to come out from everywhere, only to realise it was the tin of tuna that I'd been carrying around in my hand the whole time. And every time I thought I was near to the noise, I was at, and so I pulled my hand closer to me, and of course the tin of tuna was in my hand, so of course I could hear it louder. Literally wasted 3 minutes of my life looking for that noise that I was holding in my hand the whole time. Anyway, that's the first one. And the second one involves the thermometer for said cake. I pulled the cake out of the oven just on the drawer that it sits on, or the tray liner, what's it called? Anyway, and inserted the thermometer into it, and when it came out, all of the screen had peeled. Oh, I was thinking, heck, I've melted the thermometer, I've probably broke it. Wasn't. Turns out it was just the, you know, the not the security, or the what's it called? I'm having such a one of those days. By the weekend, my brain is frazzled. Anyway, it was the safety protective strip that was on top of it. I've had that thermometer since Christmas. I've been using it a few times a week. It's off now. Looks really clean. It's nice. One of the jobs that I've asked Jack to do today is pick up the molehills that are down towards the field. And I've just noticed he's right up near the house. I think the moles are making their way up to our house. And they're so destructive. Anyway, one of his jobs is to get the soil from them so we can use it in the garden. Save a few pennies. They're actually not as close as I thought, so that's not too bad. Doing a grand job, son. So over here, he's not too thrilled about doing the molehills, but you can see there's a couple here, and this is what I was referring to, where it's been having a whale of a time, or a mole of a time. So if Jack gets the rest of that, that'll do a really good job, and at least it's a silver lining of the molehills. And thankfully we're not seeing any or too many in the field, because there are some over at the fence, which is fine if it stays on the other side of the fence. It's just when the horses go out, I don't want their feet going down any holes and causing any broken legs. I have a little one there. So when Jack's filled the barrow with the soil, or the mud that the moles dug up, it's really good stuff. He's going to bring that up and we can use that on the veg plot. Just a few more here near the old apple tree as well. Looks like these have been here a while. This tree looks pretty dead, doesn't it? It gives so many apples last year, it was unbelievable. And the neighbour's sheep watching us. Leaving him to do that. He's really not thrilled, but kids have all got jobs to do. So while those cakes are resting and things, I'm going to go and do my garden video, but it just shows you there, trying to use the molehill soil all helps with the cost of living, because that's like, probably get 1 or 2 bags of compost equivalent in weight from what he's doing there, and that's like a tenner or £8 depending on which ones you get. So I'm really pleased about that, and it's little things like that that I'm trying to do just to keep the costs down. Keep fingers crossed we can keep finding things like that, because they're only going up one way at the moment, the costs, aren't they? Anyway, I'm going to crack on and do my gardening side of things now, and I'll join you back in the kitchen later on when Stephen and I have finished Grace's cake. We'll show you what that looks like, and we'll sign off for this week's cost of living video. That's it straight out of the oven. You can see that's where I've had the thermometer, and this one, as you can see, is all risen on top. This is nowhere near as bad. Was there too much cake mixture in that one maybe? Anyway, I am about ready to go out into the garden. I've got lots of things that I want to do out there, so I'm going to take this out without burning myself again, pop it on here, and then just leave these to cool off for the rest of the day. I'm quite pleased with them considering I haven't made a cake in forever. And then I will show you later. Stephen and I have got some plans for this. See how it works out. It should taste nice regardless of what it looks like.